Well, in Turkey, Parliament will be voting later today on whether to send troops to Libya. Turkish troops will be deployed to back up the forces of the internationally recognized government in Libya's capital, Tripoli. The city is surrounded by soldiers loyal to the powerful warlord Khalifa Haftar. His troops are fighting in the suburbs and have yet to launch a general assault on the capital. Some 2,000 people have been killed so far in the fighting. Well, Turkey's planned deployment is meant to protect its investments in Libya and boost its claims to oil and gas in the Mediterranean. But the UN is worried about an escalation in the Libyan conflict. Russia, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia support General Haftar. Let's get more about this now from Dorian Jones. He's following the story for us in Istanbul. Good day to you, Dorian. What are Turkish lawmakers likely to do? Are they going to back a military intervention by Turkish troops in Libya today?
Well, President Erdogan is expected to get support from Parliament for his call for a deployment of Turkish soldiers to Libya, even though all the opposition parties are strongly opposed to such a move, warning that Turkey risks being sucked into a quagmire. The main opposition, CHP party, saying that diplomacy should be given more of a chance rather than going to a military action. But President Erdogan is unequivocal. He says that Turkish strategic interests are at stake and Turkey should be prepared to deploy soldiers to protect those interests.
And what are those strategic interests, Dorian? What does Turkey have at stake nationally in Libya?
Well, along with signing a security protocol with the government of national accord, Turkey's also signed an agreement which has given it control of a large swathe of the eastern Mediterranean Sea, which is at the center of competition from regional countries searching for hydrocarbons. Also, control of that territory also gives Turkey control over the distribution of pipelines, which are proposed to be being built from already discovered gas fields in the eastern Mediterranean. So Turkey says that this deal is crucial to Turkish strategic interests in its growing efforts to project its influence across the region.
Okay, now, across the region, it goes all the way to Europe. This is being watched very closely here in Europe as Turkey is involved with the EU to guarantee that the migrant flows are controlled. It has that agreement in place with Brussels. And Libya is a major staging point for migrants heading to Europe as well. How does this factor in with a military intervention?
Well, I think a lot of regional countries, including Europe, are concerned that any deployment of Turkish forces risks a further escalation in this conflict, risking other countries also being drawn into it. More conflict would more than likely lead to more refugees seeking refuge in Europe. Countries like Italy, which have received large amounts of Libyan refugees. The fear is that more refugees could be triggered by such a move. In particular, also, that there are several European countries, in particular France, are believed to be supporting Khalifa Haftar, and they are concerned that Turkey getting involved in it would also risk their interests as well. We understand that the French president has been trying to hold talks with his Turkish counterpart. Italy, too, is also concerned. And even the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, has also believed to have held talks recently with President Erdogan over these plans for deployment of Turkish forces into Libya. But Turkey also has a trump card because it's also a gatekeeper to refugees coming from the region into Europe. And Turkey has made it very clear they are prepared to use that card if it feels it's been pressurized by Europe. So Europe will have to tread very carefully in this latest point of tension, potentially between Ankara and Brussels.
A lot at play here. Dorian Jones, thanks so much for bringing us up to date in Istanbul.